Hello and welcome back to Tron Sports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Last time out, I completed, mostly completed this new goods yard depot station combination area. It does look pretty decent. Off camera, I have added some roads around the areas. I have also added a little bit of extra track and changed just a couple of things around here and there. But overall, this is pretty much the same as what it was when you left me last week. In today's video, I am still going to be working on goods yards, but not over here. I'm going to attempt to. As I mentioned at the end of last week, there were 6 towns that I've connected up that still need goods yards put in them. Of those 6 towns, 2 of them should be very easy to do. A third should be somewhat easy, and then you've got the matter of Shepshire and Barnstable, which are going to be somewhat difficult, and Maryport, which is going to be extremely difficult. That is the one I'm going to leave till last. But for today, I'm going to see if I can get 3 goods yards up, albeit without too much detailing, all in one video. That is going to be Bridgenorth, Cranford, is that what the name was of the town? It was Carnforth. Might be Carnforth. Cranford, I have no idea. Various different towns, probably isn't either, and Stratford upon Avon. Those are the 3 that I'm going to do. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. And I've just noticed something else that I need to get rid of or need to fix before I even continue. So I'll do that as soon as the intro is over. Alright, first thing I need to do is, over here, I need to get rid of these. You all need to go. Now, I know they're going to try and build them again, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause it, and here are the posts, and there goes my voice. I'm just going to put these in. I'll figure it out eventually what the best way of me... In fact, I could probably put it in like so. There we go. 1, and where is that one? About there. 2, 3, and they shouldn't build it all the way down the bottom, but you never ever know. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That should prevent them from building anything, and it does look okay. Something weird has happened here. That is because of the building. Right, so let me just smooth that out just a touch. There you go. Okay, that now looks just that little bit better. I'll have to do some work in this area. I have to say, this does look... It really does look the part, doesn't it? Yes, I built this area off camera, by the way, just to add a few more carriages, a few more wagons in the area. I thought that might look a little bit better. I'm actually considering putting an engine on this one, because I think it would be interesting to see it ready to go. So I might do that, but not yet. Let's go over to the easiest of the lot. It was Chagford. Wasn't Carnforth nor Cranfield, nor I didn't even say Cranfield. What did I say? Carnforth nor maybe I did say Chagford. The easiest of the lot. This one right here. Why do these trains look so horrendous? Excuse me. Make sure these are very high for the way they're maintained. Nice and easy. The goods yard is going to go right here, right next to the station, because I highly doubt that this is going to increase any further than what it currently is. So, just going to very nicely tuck a small goods yard in here. Now I just have to figure out how big a goods yard it is going to be. I do not think a full 200 meters is required here. So I'm thinking 150 meters, just slightly longer than the maximum size of a train that would pop in here. So I'm going to place it about there. Could I place it with two tracks just to make it look a little bit better? There we go. So that is just going to sit in there. I'll go ahead and configure that to have the right track, which is this one. I shall also configure it to have that. Oh yes, I need to show this in a few moments. I will then go ahead and destroy that, and apparently this is... oh, okay, this is one of the ones that I can erase. I mean, I suppose that works when it comes to erasing these. You just have to be really, really careful. That is all. And what I shall do is place some track. Let's go for 30 mile per hour track here. And from here, I just want it to connect to that. Like so. Not configure. Why did I press that? Connect like so. And then connect like so. In we go, and just nice, simple, and across. There we go. That looks doable. Slip that switch, and that is that part of it completed. Now there does appear to be some trouble here with where these trains are. I feel like something should be... that is now entering that loop. I think... no, this is probably the best I can do in this area. Okay, fine. Off camera, I've also gone ahead and smoothened this out by putting a road in there, just like I've been doing in some other places, which really does help. For example, build this, where before it was looking really bad, it now looks far neater. So I have been doing things off camera, believe it or not. Hedge, there we go. Let's go ahead and continue with this one. So I'll just curve this off like this, slightly differently to what it was. Straight line, straight line, slight curve up to there, and then a straight line into that. That is that bit done. What I can then do is place a little building here, not one of those. We've been through that last time out. Place this over. Place it over here. Sure. Terminal width, that is fine. That goes like that. Higher cog capacity, that can go. Station border can go. Terminal length, let's make it fairly wide. And a question for you all is, why are you not happy with? Why are you not happy with this? Oh, right, because you need a street, of course. And a question for all of you. I should really put the street in first. Build it anyway? No, wait. Wait a minute. There, do that. And we shall figure this out momentarily. The question I have is, should this town have a... what do you mean? Why can you not build it? There we go. I know you can. Okay, well this is just annoying. How do I get it to build that? Right. What a pain. Will it still build it? I mean, it can still do it. Why is it concerned about this? Oh, right, I see. Okay. Back to the question at hand. Eventually I will ask it. The question I have is that should... There we go. Should I put a gasworks and the associated gasometer in this town? Or should this be a town that does not have it? That is the question I have. That looks pretty good. In fact, what I could do is I could make this incredibly long. There we go. Perfect. I could have tucked it in closer, but it's all right. So yes, the question I have is, should I put a gasometer in this town? If yes, where? If no, how would I get fuel to this town? Should I find a way to transport fuel from perhaps Stratford-upon-Avon, which would then deliver fuel to Bridgnorth? And the same question applies for Chagford, but I think Chagford possibly should have it. Every town pretty much has it, I think. Yes, every town has a small gasometer. Should I do the same for Bridgnorth? There is the question right there. So answers, please, in the comments box below. Right, that bit is done. As I said, there does not need to be a lot of detailing here. It's just sitting on the side of the station. If anything, because I've got a little bit of room, what I could do is just put a third... I could just put a third one of these in, just with a covered... I can just do this and put a little covered building or something. So anything that I could do that would look reasonable? Not the shed. That's a bit too much. Anything? No. Okay. I can probably find it with covered. Cover for track? No, that wasn't it. Shed? Shed? Here's a shed. That is not the shed I'm... There we go, that's the shed I'm after. So we can do a full panel shed. Like so. Just sitting there, like that. And I can always connect that up just along here into this. Eventually. There we are. Try and get that to be nice and smooth. That's the smoothness I was after. Good. So only this bit is not smooth anymore, or as smooth as it should be. That is fine. One thing that I did forget on the... there and there in Sudbury is I've not put any signals, so I'm going to have to go back and do that. That looks a little bit better. I think at this point in time that can be cut out. Maybe I can just build... Maybe I should just build a few roads in this area. Just expand it a touch. Upgrade this road to that, please. Up to there. And then, oops. And then build some roads down and around here. That will do. How am I going to connect these two? That seems to be alright. That sort of works there. And do I want to connect that all the way into the middle is the question. Possibly. I'll try it. I might end up breaking that And this bit can go there, and perhaps a little block. Not particularly keen on how that block is forming, so I'm going to try and make some sort of an edit to make that a little bit better. That is a little better. This bit I will figure out a little later on. Okay, so a little bit more built up in that area. I'm also going to do a little bit just here. Though nothing is really building up yet, perhaps I should get buses running here. If I get buses running, it might start building up quite significantly. I'll have to see. But that is Bridge North, very easily completed. I should probably take a picture of this. I should get rid of all these keyframes there. They're Sudbury's keyframes. And maybe make a keyframe for Bridge North or something, just to show the progress of this area. So I'll do that, and I will probably, actually, some of these places probably not worth making the keyframes for. That is probably one of them. Okay, next up, Chagford. So Chagford is going to take a little bit more work because we've got the water that needs to be dealt with. So the water is definitely coming down through here and then going further down into the valley. So we just need to deal with that as quickly and as efficiently as possible. This is where the issue is going to occur, but I think I can fix that. Once that is done, I can look at doing the freight, the goods yard. So let's begin over here, and I'll start with, of course, with the invisible streets. Just a narrow street is all that is required, but I'm actually going to dip it down just a little. The reason I'm dipping it down just a little is because I want it to, there we go, I want it to be a little bit more lower down. Just that's all I'm after. I just want it to be that little bit lower down, and this is sort of working. Of course, the stream isn't going to look quite like this all the way, but I'll try and do my best to make the best of what I've got. Once again, there are limitations to Transport Fever 2 that I have to contend with, and so as such, you'll find me every now and then trying to do something that may not look the way maybe it would in real life, but to be completely honest, this is probably the best I can do. So let's do that. Now at this point it is going pretty deep, or pretty low, so I need to try and make some changes to what I'm doing, just to ensure that it does not go too far down. But as we get here, I definitely need to start looking like it's dipping a little bit more. There we go. Just trying to make it go a little bit further down now. And of course the road is coming, so I need to try to have it in a position where the road will be able to... Yes, the road will be able to go over that. So, first off, step 1, delete the road. Step 2, put this back in. No, leave it in its downward trajectory. Come on, English. Work for once. That now wants to tunnel, which is kind of alright, because you could have You can have a river in a tunnel, but I want to try and avoid that. We cannot have the really nice tunnel, because sometimes you do have rivers in tunnels, but it's normally it's canals that do such a thing. But I think if I can try to keep this as level as possible here, I can avoid the tunneling procedure. It does go pretty low as it goes through that area. But that is the nature of this. That is pretty much the nature of what we've got here. I can try and make it so that it does not... no, do not go up. Ooh, did I accidentally make that go up? I'll deal with that. As long as I can get this across the railway properly, we should be in a good position. Okay, now here's the railway. So the signal box is going to have to move. But I think looking at the angle that this is at, should be able to get the railway through it as well. Okay, first thing I need to do is this bit. Yes, this looks doable. So, get a standard road. Standard road, I say. There we go. And over we go. Yes, I know you do not want to do that, but with a little bit of help, I can probably find the right bridge. There we are. It's not looking great, but I'm sure I can figure this out. By doing that, and then yes, I will figure this out. That I know you want to complain. It's fine. I'll get this figured. Not you at all. Not you either. Apparently all of these want no supports. So, okay, that's fine. I'll do that, and then I'll figure, again, I'll try a couple of things with it, but there to there, ramp equalize, do not check the thing, and just flatten it. Tell me what you... There we go. We've got something. Now I just need to somehow... Oh, it doesn't like what I do there. Okay. Somebody said that there are other options. I can do some... I could do that if I wanted to. There are some options I have for me to be able to put... I think with the assets I can actually put the bridge supports in. So I might end up doing that. Right, here comes the difficult bit. Signal box is now going to move. These houses are going to disappear, which is fine. I'm not really fussed about the housing. This road is going to disappear. And the really tough part is going to be this one. At 50 miles per hour, right. This railway is going to disappear. Hopefully, this all works. The main connection will be interrupted. That's fine. I will deal with it. Back to the invisible roads. Am I going to get everything I want done in this episode? Now I'm curious. I might. And if it doesn't work the way I want it to, I'll figure something out. I'm sure I can get this to work, though. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, that bit is now all done. Good. All I need to do is somehow manage to get a 50-mile-per-hour track. This is the first and most important one. Let's get a 50-mile-per-hour track over that. Can I somehow manage to get this to work? Not like that. I know the signal's gone. That's fine. I can if I do that. Okay. There is some... Right, there is some hope for this. There is definitely some hope. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do this. No, you can do it. I know you can. Now stop that. Maybe I need to make that go a little bit higher up. Okay. I'll delete this one. Try this again. No. It worked. It worked when I didn't. Okay, I've done that. That bit is perfect. That bit is absolutely perfect. In fact, this bit here and up to here is also perfect. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to actually break this. Yes, break that and break that. Oh, it ruined this bit. Autosave has now kicked in. Okay, that ruined that bit. I wanted that to look really neat, and then I was going to flatten it, and it was all going to be amazing. That has not worked out the way I wanted it to. The reason autosave has kicked in is I've had about half an hour between recording the last video and this one, and therefore it has kicked in at the half an hour mark, roughly the half an hour mark. Right, I'll try this again, shall I? Let's get this. I want this to look absolutely perfect. Exactly like that. That is how I want it to look. That bit is done. That bit is done. Now all I need to connect this up. Just notice what is missing here. Connect it up. There we go. That is done. All I now need to do is select from here. I just split it. It didn't split. Thank goodness. Select from here. Okay, select from here. No, okay. Select from here. Turn it around to here. Ramp equalize. Do not check anything. Just do it. Oh, it might have ruined it. Not to there. To there. I mean, it has worked. You can see the edge of the... you can see it. So I just wish it was a little closer. Like that. That is exactly the one I want. In fact, that is pretty much... Okay. I know which one I want. I just have to figure out how to get this to say yes to it. Even this one could do the trick. All of these could do the trick. Okay. I'll have to come back to how that works. But for now, that will... It has worked. It has done what I needed it to do. You. No. You're doing that. And then you are also doing... No, this. Nope. You're not happy with this, are you? Well, that isn't the right place for... There we go. Yes, do that. do that, connect up all the way to the end of this, because this is probably going to expand or extend. Select from there to there, ramp equalize, do it, bring it down, perfect. That is what I wanted over here. It hasn't quite worked in the same manner, but it is close enough. Signal. Put the signal back in. There we are. Good. Right. With that now being done, I can put the oh, you can see that uphill bit. That's a little noticeable. There we go. Better. Much better. How easy is that once you know what you are doing? I think I should probably do this end bit with the invisible street road, because I'd like to at the very least get all of this done. Actually, that works a lot better because it prevents quite a few little bits from happening. There we are. So it prevents houses from building and things like that, which are problematic sometimes. So just do it up to there. Once I get to doing this road, then I'll do the rest of it. But for now, that is looking pretty good. I might even break those houses just to let them build up something a little different in that area. Good. Now that that is done, I can work on putting in the goods yard. Now, for the goods yard, what I'm thinking is that I bring this signal back and I peel off the goods yard. Oh, come on. There we are. Something like this, and hope that this is apparently not something I can split. I'll try again. Maybe it needs to be like that. I'll build anyway, just to see. There we go. And that is what can slip. So, with that being said, I can place the goods yard in. Ooh, where would I do it though? Break this road and put the goods yard in here. Let's have a look. Again, it is probably going to have to be a rather small one. 150 meters. Yeah, it is tight. So it is going to have to be a rather small goods yard. Could I curve it like so and give it another 50? No. See, that is where the problems are going to come in. Is that I'm not able to do that. And this is a main road at the moment. So I need to be aware of that. Right. What if I put the goods yard all the way back here? That will be possible. I just need to get that curvature correct, and we should be able to put it in there. Break that. We'll move the road depot somewhere else. Break that and have it tucked in through there. Yes. There we go. Job done. So, first off is a straight line across. I know this is 50, it should probably be 20 at this point. So we'll do that to 20. Secondly, break the road depot, and before I forget, I shall move the road depot to another location. So I'll move the road depot, old road depot. Where are you? There you are. Let's move the road depot to the end of... Let's move it to the end of this, shall we? There we go. That's where the old road depot now is. We will then continue these tracks and state... Actually, we will then break this road. There we are. And then put the building in to figure out where exactly. So it would want to be something like that. Can I do something slightly different? For example, that. It's a little tight. A 200 meter setup is a little tight here. That much is for certain. But what I can do is just from here. Look at that. There we go. It is weird, but it is valid. It should, in theory, work. There. Perfect. That should, in theory, work. So, the signals for this are going to be here and here. Perfect. This is going to be... I think I'm only going to get 2 done today, because Stratford is going to be a little bit more difficult. That goes there, that goes there, and that is that. Good. So what I've managed to do, just to show you, let me show you in West Mersey. I did say I was going to show you this. This is something I've found. By mistake, mind you, but found it nevertheless. Oh, I do need a new PC. Right. See all of this? That is currently sitting up here. I can click this. I really hope this works now. And then I can change this from both-sided to connect only. There we go. All the cargo is still there. It's just hidden. And that is what I wanted. That way, if I wanted to, I can fill this up with other stuff. But that is exactly what I was after. So, there we go. That is perfect. What I really should do is change this into... push-pull? No. Run around, train? No. What does it do currently? It does push-pull currently. No, it does not. Maybe it does. I'll change this to flip engines. I want to see how that runs. Are you going to get stuck by that, by the way? This area looks really decent. Now, you are going to very clearly make your way out of that. Is this top bit used yet? Cannot remember. It is, but I have no idea by what. That. Who is on there? Is there a train on there? Yes, there is. There is a train on it. Of course, yes, there is a train on it. It is the train that goes to Lichfield and that area. So there we go. Okay. I kind of want to take a screenshot whilst we are here. If I get the right shot. Of a train going across this, and... Am I going to get the opportunity to have a train going across this and a train... There's another train coming at high speed. But I'm not sure which one, if it's going to reach here in time. No, I do not think it will. It's trying. It is trying. It is moving along very, very quickly. I mean, I could really just go, oh, hang on. I'm sorry. Sorry, train, you have to stop here. And then, sorry, train, you have to reverse. For screenshots purposes. There you go. For screenshot purposes, you've had to reverse and yeah, it's been a problem. Unfortunately, you've had a problem, so you have to reverse and yeah, all for screenshot purposes. Wish there wasn't so much Z-axis fighting. Even my own mod with the all route sign is looking a bit weird. There we go. That's all I wanted. I'm wasting so much time for this in doing so. But we'll do that, and you get back on your way. Okay, great. Nothing happened. Yes, so that is how we do things over in West Mersey, and that is what I'm replicating now in Chagford. I'll get there eventually. So that goes there, and again, should I have gasworks over here, or should I have Chagford and Bridgnorth being supplied somehow by Stratford upon Avon? Which would be interesting, I think, but still. So, next up in this area, I need to put the correct building. So, cargo, that's one. Where? Oh, I could just put it directly opposite, but I kind of wanted to see if I can tuck it in. Can I somehow tuck in a 2-platform narrow? I could just genuinely could do this. I just do not understand what the issue is with the street length. Why does it never want to connect with the other one? Build it. Right, how close is that and how does that look? Not the greatest. Should I have pushed this slightly further over? By millimeters. Can I move this in any which way? I can make the terminal smaller. There we go. Sorted. That has fixed the issue right away. Clearly that does not wish to move. You can go away. I'm going to put... You can probably go away. I'll put a couple of railway buildings here, I think, and a little... I knew that was going to happen. No, I'll leave this like this just for now. So that works, that works. This is where things need to change. I need to put the signal over here now, as opposed to over there. That is better. The speed through this is going to be 20. So I need to put a 20 mile per hour track. Guess I've only managed to do 2, which is fine. It's not a massive issue. I do not think that is a big issue whatsoever. There we go. 20 to the left. Low. 50 cleared. None high. There we go. Job done. Okay. Promising. Looking very, very promising. Yes, that does look pretty promising. It's just a matter of this bit. Now, what I can do is look at how I was going to do things for Stratford-upon-Avon. So the option, as I initially had, the plan was to put it here. But just looking at how Stratford-upon-Avon is, well, first off, I've got another issue. How am I supposed to get if I put a marshalling yard over here somewhere, which is probably the best place for it? It is going to be somewhere in this area. In fact, down here looks perfectly smooth. Let me just see what the gradient is. It isn't the best, but it isn't terrible. Why am I doing that? I can just check. 65. Okay, so there's just a tiny dip. In fact, you can see it. This is the perfect area for a marshalling yard. Which will then be... How would it get... The question is then, how would it get over to here? Kingsbridge. Because to get to Kingsbridge, it needs to... Well, actually, I know how it could. I could get it to back up over here, turn around, and then go back in and down. So that could be doable. Yes, that could be doable. It also needs to be able to get to Stratford-upon-Avon, which is doable. Bridge North will be doable. Chagford is going to be the difficult bit because of this embankment. The only way I could do things is to run it along here, put I don't know, some sort of slip right here, and then push it back in. And then have it go to Chagford that way. That might be the only option I have. And of course, in doing that, would it then be smarter? No. Now I'm going to leave this on this side. Okay, that is fine. I'm just trying to figure out where things go. So I'm just going to place as a reference that there. I assume I've got the... Okay, another question I have is, do I have the length for it? I can only assume I do. That was 300. That's another 250. So that should be 600 yards. 700 yards. Perfect. That will be a perfect marshalling yard. Yes. Okay. So marshalling yard is going there. I was trying to figure it out. So I thought, maybe I could place it here or something like that. But it is a little bit hilly here. It's flatter here. That will be able to very easily service Sudbury, have it... I mean, if I really wanted to, I could do this and get it to peel in this way. I can have it flip around, so go here, flip around, and then come back and service Kingsbridge. Taunton will have to do the same thing. So we'll have to... Maybe I'll get the Taunton one to come along here, turn around and go that way. Whereas the Kingsbridge one goes this way, turns around and cuts across, just to give it a little bit more variety, I suppose. So that will do there. Stratford-upon-Avon then needs to be built. I'll go ahead and make the Chagford slip. Bridge North is done, easily done. This one is pretty much easily done as well. The only thing that I would like to do before I end this is to remove this, remove these buildings that are right up against the edge. I'll pause it. I'll put some posts in. No, posts. This thing does not... I've noticed this, but it really struggles when you are searching for something to read the input. Really struggles to read user input. There we go. You go there. That will stop anything building in that area. And I'll put one along here to stop anything building in this area. Up there is, can I do that? Would that be fine? There. I want to get rid of that. And then in this area, it is also required. So just along, along there. Nothing will build there, and hopefully nothing builds right on this corner, because that would be really poor. Let's go ahead and configure this. I might as well do a little bit of the detailing if that is the case now. I think those walls that I put in the last video are looking pretty good, so I'll put the walls in and then paint it up. Yes, I do think these walls work pretty well. Which one was it? I think it was this one. It was this one. Great. Oh dear. Should do height steps and see how that reacts to it. Doing it along the street is just a little bit better. So, do I want buildings here, is the question. Do I want a building that connects? I'll leave that side because that might be a thing I do. But on this side, I shall not. So I'll do that there. And then from there to there. The great thing is that as you start learning to do this, and yes, I know this is, I've been at it for 3 years, possibly more. But as I start to learn these things, 3 years ago, a lot of these mods were not available. 4 years nearly. Many of these mods were not available. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, had the mod been available 3 years ago, I probably would have done it. Let's go ahead and do this. I think this is going to look pretty decent. There we go. Yes, I think that does look pretty decent overall. Along the back of this, I guess I can do the same here. Should probably be using the curve tool. Maybe a fence would have been the better option, but it's all right. I've done this now. It's done. And again, I'm not certain whether I'm going to put some related buildings over here, so I won't put that in. What I will do though is paint all of this with ballast, because now that this is walled up, lets me know, do you think I should put a fence here instead of a wall? Is that a better option? Do let me know, and I will try and adjust accordingly. Holding shift for this bit over here gets it properly covered up. I can most likely smooth things out to up to there, and then all of this can also be painted. There we go. Job done. That does not look too bad. Smooth, just a touch. I have to be very careful with the smoothing right now because of the wall. Even though the wall is up on... Wow, there you go. You can see exactly what's just happened. Let's try and lift this up again somehow. Come on, lift it. No, do not make it worse. I'm making it worse. That is what you have to be concerned about when it comes to building walls and things the way I have. So just good warning right there when you are doing this. Why does this keep resetting? I've selected the wall. Please do not give me another one. There. Okay, good. And with that, I think, you know what I could do? I could, not that, place a second one of the, oh no, it's not. Not possible. Not possible. Okay, just to end this, I think I am going to finish off the detailing. And what I'm going to put is going to be just I've got a few cranes. That will do, just to give it that little bit of an interesting look, and possibly place up a railway building this side. I'll place it which way? This way? No. I'll place it this way, just so that it looks a little bit more, I don't know, better, just more realistic. What do I want with the height and center? Here we go. Ground. Platform? Platform. Sure. It's just that little bit of realism with a building there, and perhaps just a couple of these dotted around. Like so. What's this? Not necessary. Although the small one could be necessary as a... There we go. That's the place where things are dumped. Problem here is that I should have got rid of the trees first. Well done. And some of these trees like to stick around. They really do. Come on, off you go. So with that, even though I said I was not going to do it, I ended up detailing it anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think. Any suggestions you might have. I've just seen this and I've just realised that that is going to look absolutely perfect as part of the railway. Why have I not put that everywhere on the railway? I need to put these everywhere on the railway. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. Plenty more to go from this. Ballast needs to be painted at the back. That also has pretty much told me what I need to do with the brick wall. But yes, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where I'll be doing what? What shall I be doing? Stratford upon Avon? Shall we say I'll do that next? I think that's probably a good idea. Yes, I think Stratford upon Avon is a good idea to do next. Right, let's go ahead and do that. And perhaps just connect that up like so. I wonder if I can get rid of, very carefully, get rid of that bush. No. I think it's going to live there forever. Wall. I am going to end this video. Do not worry about that. I am going to end this video. I just want to make sure that everything that I could possibly do is correctly done. Door's on the wrong side, isn't it? Right. There we go. Doors on that side now. Better. Excellent. Thumbnail. Somehow. There we go. Much better. That is looking reasonable, I would say. I'd say that is looking very reasonable. So, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series.